All right, it's been a long one, but we'll kick on to our preview. I actually can't lie. I think this is an easy week for tipping, and I guess it's arguably an easy week for betting, but it never is in sport. But there's a couple ones that I'm not sure on, but especially I think it's the sad day. There's about three or four that I'm pretty confident in. But my sure bet of the week, even though I think Gold Coast will be competitive and I think they might bounce back after really disappointing last week, I just can't see Geelong losing to them. Geelong, GMHBA is obviously one of the toughest places to go to and get a win. Geelong are in pretty good form now. They're starting to hit their straps, and I just can't see them losing to this out of form Gold Coast side. So that's my sure bet of the week. What's your sure bet of the week, mate?
Yeah, Geelong against Gold Coast. Not much more to be said. I think they'll just monster them. I think this same match last year, Gold Coast were in it for a little bit. They were actually ahead. I think in the second or third quarter, I think Benny King was on fire, but Geelong eventually ran over the top of them. Hopefully, Gold Coast do the same and continue it up this week, but unfortunately, I think Geelong will just be too good. Simple as that.
Yeah, believe that was the match of Matt Rao's death, but that's shout out to
Death,
Matty Rao.
yeah.
But yeah, that's where the Brownlow dream came crashing down. But upset of the week, I'll be honest, I've only actually tipped one upset, and it's look at this point. I probably should stop tipping them because they've dogged me twice. We said it last week, but I'm going to say it again. I think Freo will upset Sydney. I wouldn't listen to this because I overrate Freo and I underrate Sydney. So it's a recipe for disaster, but they're paying $1.94, so it's about even odds at Optus Stadium. Freo's pretty good at home, a bit like West Coast. I think they might bounce back after a disappointing away loss to Essendon. Sydney, they might be a little bit complacent after a great start to the year, and Freo might catch them napping. But yeah, realistically, Sydney will win. But let's back in Freo. Why not? What's your upset of the week?
I've actually got Freo in there as well. I know that the odds are very even at the moment, but I think it's a typical Freo performance where they are going to have that, very sort of heartless loss against a team like the Bombers where they should beat them, and then they're going to come back home and beat a similar team, and then we're all going to think, yeah, like they're growing. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they won. I'll probably tip them. Don't mind the Tigers against the Lions. Could see another huge dusty, 25 plus 4 goal performance. On paper, I think it's still pretty even though Richmond have got their injury woes at the moment. But on grass over in Brisbane, Brisbane are very, very good. So, and then just a couple. I'm not gonna include them in this segment. I'm just gonna sort of float it out there. Um, don't mind. I don't think Adelaide against the D's is the worst call ever to be made. I know this is going to come back to bite me. The D's are obviously 9-0. Adelaide are obviously rebuilding. But, I mean, the Crows in front of their home crowd, Tex is coming back. The D's, I think they were sort of holding their breath a little bit in the Carlton game, but obviously won. The Crows did it against the Cats. You can see, I know if you ever watch Fox Footy, you can see that pressure gauge that they often pop up. I can see the Crows having that on max level this whole game on the weekend. I think they're going to be fired up. They're obviously playing at 4:35, which I don't know. I don't know that when they beat the Cats, it was in the daytime and everyone just got up. And I think something similar could happen here. I'm not sure. I'm just sort of floating it out there. I'm not going to put anything more into it because it won't get up, obviously, or probably won't. But I'm just going to let that sit there for a while and let it simmer. And the same goes with the Saints and the Dogs. We match up against them well. We have upset them a few times in the last few years. But I'm going to be a bit more pessimistic on the Saints because I'm a pessimistic supporter and I just don't think Rob is going to get up there. We're going to be way too good and we could lose by 10 goals. But we match up well against them and we obviously came back after the COVID break last year in round 2 and turned it on at Marvel and beat them. And there have been a couple of instances in the past, like I said. But I'm going to float those two out there to the two top teams in the comp right now that I wouldn't be surprised if there was one upset in there. And if there was two, then call me a genie. But I'm just going to leave it there.
Pretty spicy, actually. I don't mind either take. The other one I'm interested in, well, there's a couple. You mentioned Richmond. I don't mind that. This week I did the same thing. I did my 9 tips, put my margins next to them. The other smallest margin is West Coast. I actually said West Coast will win by 1 point because for me it's a bit of a flip of a coin. So I will be tipping West Coast. They are the favourite, but I guess that means I think GWS are a solid chance there. So they're the underdog at home. The most appealing betting lines of the week, I'll be honest, there's not too many. Most of my predicted margins matched up with the handicap. As you mentioned, I think Richmond with a 16.5 handicap is pretty solid. I've got the Lions winning narrowly. I've got it by 5 points at the moment. But so Richmond, the Lions with a 16.5 handicap, I guess they're the team that's being handicapped there. I think Richmond won't get blown out. I can't see Richmond getting smashed. So I think it could be a close one. They could even win. So I think at the line, they're decent. And then Essendon, they're a tough team. I know I was saying they're consistent before, but I do like to tip against them losing, and they usually prove that wrong. But they're playing North Melbourne. North Melbourne coming off a win, probably less, they might be less up and about to get their first win of the year.
The players will still be recovering from their celebrations on the week.
Yeah, exactly. So the Lions only 19.5. Essendon have been in decent form, so I think Essendon could blow them out of the water, and I think 19.5 is pretty small. That's only 3 goals, basically. So I've got Essendon by 30, and I think that's okay. So they're the only ones I'm interested in. Are there any you want to mention?
Well, this is why I will jump on Adelaide. I think plus 31.5 against the D's isn't bad at all. I don't think they'll get blown. I know we saw it a few weeks ago against the Giants where they did get blown out of the water at home. But I don't know. I think it's a reasonable chance this line to get up. I think they'll turn it on. The D's aren't known for blowing teams out of the water, and I think 31.5 points is very doable for Adelaide. The Cats can give them 42.5, get them to win by more than that against the Suns. I don't think it's that bad. And I know I just said that there could be an upset brewing, but the Dogs at 23.5 isn't bad at all to beat Saints by more than 4 goals. Look, it probably will happen. We saw it last week against the Cats. They got us by 3+ goals, which we should have won, but there you go. So, yeah, Dogs every chance as well at Marvel. I'm feeling Bont and all that are going to be huge, but like I said, upset brewing. So, yeah, the only one I'm really going to be talking up there is the Crows, because the Cats similarly. Since Jeremy Cameron's come, they've started to really take advantage of their quality list and quality attack, especially. So I'm going to have Adelaide as my favourite line of the week there, followed by the Cats and the Dogs ones. But yeah, like I agree with you. There's nothing too appealing this week in the markets. Might try and save a little bit of money this week. Got 4 bonus bets and might just be using them. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, we'll see if those lines get up.
It's a miracle. Oh, yeah. What about that one? No. Unbelievable. Balotelli. Aguero. Crowd cheers. Here's Siddle.